Thanks for tuning in to the Victor's Nation show. I am your host, Jason Robinson. The rest of the crew, Derek McCarty and Dre, is on PTO or FMLA, I'm not sure. But remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for free. Please help us gain followers on YouTube. Got about close to 18,500 on Facebook. We're looking for 500 on YouTube for this year's goal. So please hit that subscribe button if you'd enjoy the show. Also, if you miss it on YouTube Live or Facebook Live tonight, follow us and listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are back in the top 25 at number 25. We're going to recap the Washington dub from last week, Saturday, and preview our matchup against Little Sister on Saturday night for the 118th contest for the battle of for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. So, Derek, take it away, man.
Yeah, so we jump back into. I think that the polls, even in season, are still kind of dumb. But
For
I
basketball,
would,
too, I agree. Even for college, any college sport, like the
yeah,
preseason AP is just, it doesn't make sense.
right. And even during season, it bounces up and down. So I would completely understand if there's USC fans out there that are looking at USC falling out of the top 25 and us jumping back into the top 25 with the
Yeah.
same record after they shit on us. But hey, our
Yeah.
our brand drives more money, so
We don't control that. So maybe put more fans in the stands, even though you have
yeah,
to win. Still.
yeah, for sure, for sure. But it was a great bounce back win. I think that all of us went into that game really genuinely curious to see what Michigan team would show up, and I felt like that was our most all around dominant and complete game that we've really played probably in 2 years. Across the board. Execution from the players, uh, good calls from the coaches. Hindsight, we'll talk about probably some things still that we saw that would be questionable,
Second
but
half, yeah.
it was I don't know if people noticed this, but um, this is the only game besides the Central Michigan game where we had more time of possession than our opponent. That includes New Mexico, and we had a huge time of possession advantage in this game. It was a classic Michigan boa constrictor type game, especially in the second
Yes.
half. The second half, our offensive line was really reestablishing the line of scrimmage. You know, I hope Evan Link recovers from his injury, but shout out to Blake Frazier stepping in and not only not missing a beat, but I felt like the offense turned into a machine once he stepped into the game. The way
Oh,
that
yeah.
they were moving, and we had so speaking of time of possession, we had 37 and a half minutes of time of possession to Washington's 22 and a half minutes. That means that we had an entire quarter of time with us possessing the football over them. That
Yeah. It's
that's
weird.
that's classic Michigan football. Um,
Yes.
that game should have been, there still was some missed opportunities in that game. That probably should have been anywhere from a 38 to 42 to 7 type game.
Yeah.
Talk about missed opportunities. We dialed up offensively on 4th and 1, a really good play call that had Samaj Morgan open, and I mean that poor guy. I feel like
He's just trying
he
to make a big play, man. But you got to catch the ball first. I get
and
what
he's
he's trying to
going
do, and
to.
and when he catches the ball, he's fucking fast. Like he's
Yeah,
extremely fast. Um, but you gotta catch the ball first. And know what he's trying to do mentally? Just gotta catch the ball. And that was a pretty nice dialed up play. Love the play call. Love the aggressiveness. Now we just need to execute because we've kind of seen this before. Not on him, but earlier weeks. We'll
Yeah.
see.
In the first, so it was Bryce Underwood's best game too. It was Bryce
Yep.
Underwood's best game yet as a starting quarterback, and it came. Washington came into the game 5-1. So it's a different level of play than what he was playing against New Mexico or against Central Michigan. So this was a solid Big Ten team, a solid program, and I thought he played fantastic. I thought our offensive game plan. I thought the game offensively. I thought we finally added some creativity into the plays. We got him out in space. We let him make some reads. And Andrew Marsh, the Bryce Underwood to Andrew Marsh connection. We're gonna get 2 more years of that after this year, and then
Give
we
him a
might not
break,
have
dude.
either of them after that. Yeah,
He is looking really good. I know I'll say it early or later, but I put that appreciation post out for him, and you're going to see a lot more of that. But what he's done in the games that he's played in, and then actually took over as a starter, I mean, it's impressive, extremely impressive. Guy's a freak. Love it.
he is. He's become wide
Hmm.
receiver number one. He's become the top receiving option
Yeah.
in this offense. And so we'll talk about Jordan Marshall's game, but I want to highlight
Yeah,
Zack
for
Marshall.
sure.
Zack Marshall broke out, and he's been with this team for a few years now, and he's been in a backup role. And with Marlon Klein not playing, he stepped up big time. He made a lot of big plays. Let me pull up his final stat line here. He had um, what was it? He was our leading receiver in the game. 5 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. And that isn't even speaking of anything that he did blocking wise. That's just as a receiver. But I mean, he contributed as a blocker too. So that was awesome. That was exciting. It was exciting to see our tight ends be as involved as they were without our top tight end.
I'm also impressed too. So with Klein, being out, not staying healthy right now, Hogan as well too. There was a lot of questions going into this year's campaign on what the tight end play was going to be and matching up to a Colston Loveland. And I think we got 4 solid tight ends. I think we got Klein. I think we got Hogan. I think we got Zack Marshall. And then we have Deacon. So dropped the ball in the beginning of the game, but had great pass by Bryce, great catch by Deacon. But I think we got 4 solid tight ends right here, and the fact that like
Yeah.
Deacon, Zack Marshall, they really stepped up with them with Hogan and Klein out. It's just impressive. I mean, what do we talk about during the off season? Talked about complementary football. We also talked about like we need that tight end in this specific offense. You need a tight end in Michigan's offense, and not just like for short gains. You need an almost to play as a top receiver to get down the field, and we saw that multiple times and creating separation, not just for first downs or long gains, but for touchdowns as well too. So I think we got 4 solid tight ends in this program. 4.
Yeah,
And yeah, they
I
waited
agree.
their turn, but there was a lot of questions coming into that room, and we talked about this before the season. And I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed with that group.
Yeah, we got to continue the momentum, but let's talk about
Yeah,
Jordan Marshall.
yeah.
Jordan Marshall was 25 carries, 133 yards, 1 touchdown, average 5.3 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a classic ball forward guy. He is a guy that
Yes.
brings to the table. He might not hit the home run at the same capacity that we've seen this year with Justice Haynes. But I think we all came into this game kind of a little bit worried about what our offense would look like without Justice Haynes. And I thought that it looked a little bit different in the fact that we talked. For anyone that's listened, we've been talking about how our rushing stats were high, but it's been a lot of home runs, not a lot of sustained drives. And
Yeah.
I think what really helped it was our passing game in the first half took Washington's defenders out of the box or made them think pass. And so that allowed us to run the ball when we wanted to and pass the ball when we wanted to. And it kept us in a very positive game script offensively for play calling. And that's something that I don't think we've done very well throughout the course of the season. But this game, it was fantastic.
Yeah. So we broke the norm, right? That's what we did. I mean, we started passing a little bit more on probably what should have been a typical Michigan run play,
Yep.
run, pass, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Had some drops, but they took some chances downfield, and they obviously probably didn't listen to this pod. That'd be really cool if they did last week. But we called for some chances down the field. You got a new OC, you got Bryce Underwood, you got to let the kid throw. And again, I'm going to bring it up again, but that one by Deacon, I know he dropped one early on in the game, but that one for Deacon that he caught that ball, like what a throw and what a catch. Like
Yep.
19 can really thread the needle. But game after game, what impresses me about this 18-year-old kid is that he takes care of the ball. So he had his best game, right? Actually, against a good opponent. Well, let's leave out Central Michigan for a second. He takes care of the fucking ball, and we really need that. His IQ is there, and he's only a freshman. What are we going to see in the next couple of years? It's insane. Give him $1 trillion, keep him his senior year. Probably not going to happen, but like, man, like I'm impressed. I'm impressed with second half. Right, first half it looked like nothing was changing. It looked like we had no strategy. Like we did pass the ball, and I get that. We drew up some plays. We went with 4th and 1 that was chopped, but I love the play call. But it was a little sluggish in the first half, but we saw complementary football in the second half, both offensively and defensively. Why does the staff take so long to adjust, or why do we wait for something bad to happen when maybe trying to get out of a large deficit? I don't know, but the second half was incredible. First half looked a little predictable, not so hot. Can we put a full game together? Question mark. And make changes to our strategy even if there is one. But on a positive note, that second half, Derek, 17-0. We outscored Washington 17-0. That's what I want to see earlier in the game. We're gonna lose some games. It is what it is. We already lost 2, but that's really what impressed me about this is the second half adjustments and just complimentary football. Offense came out, and it was nice to actually see like both sides of the ball like complementing each other and being consistent as well too, and taking advantage of opportunities to put points on the board, not field goals but touchdowns. So it was good to see. I
Yeah.
cried a
Yeah.
little bit.
It was good.
Needed it.
And another thing to highlight too is I thought ultimately it was the best game that our offensive line played this year
I
as
agree.
well. So um, I was looking at something and I'm pulling it up here to get it exact. So um, we had 2.1 yards before contact per rush, which is fantastic. That means that we reestablished the line of scrimmage. So that's a good push. That's a good push from the offensive line. But again, I think that part of that too is that's what happens when you start to get safeties not crashing. Side note, complete side note. Did you hear Lane Kiffin talking about Oklahoma and why Oklahoma's defense is so good?
Yes, but it was more of like not even a jab. It was more of
No,
a
it's just
compliment. And
for
what
sure.
what Connor Stallions, he made a comment about it too. I think it was on Twitter. I can't remember what social media platform, but I agree with him 100%. It's definitely a compliment. And when he said like, "Hey, other programs are doing this," it wasn't just because like, "Oh, we got caught." No, and I'm sure other programs are doing more shadier shit. Again, people, sign stealing is not illegal. It's just how it happened. Um, but regardless, that was interesting. And he kind of called it out like that, and just like, yeah, other programs do this. This should probably not have gotten as much media attention, but since we're Michigan and it's what Jim said, biggest scandal in college football history, but no vacated wins, no postseason ban.
Right.
Weird. Nothing to do with Jim at all. Nothing to do with Jim.
So that's just a completely different rabbit hole. But
Still funny though. It was on my list.
yeah.
If we had time, which we never do, I was gonna bring that up. It was interesting. I liked it.
But but that's a benefit of what just showing the threat of pass on any given down does is safeties can't crash. Linebackers have to be conscious of their pass game responsibilities, and also then that's what happens when you're not running into an 8 and 9 man box all the time, which is what we have tended to do.
5 weeks in 2023.
Yeah.
Stack the box. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But no,
so that was
it's a little more balanced in the second half. Even in the first, I know it didn't look good, but still, I'm hoping we can move forward this coming Saturday too, but the rest of the season with that. But we'll see.
For sure. And a few comments come in here already.
Yeah.
Brett, Jimmy Rolder, and Cole Sullivan, Smash Bros. Yeah, and it looks like Ernest Hausman's probably going to be out for a while. I didn't hear the update on him this week, but looks like it's probably going to be Jimmy Rolder and Cole Sullivan for a little bit. But Cole Sullivan, man, he leads he leads the team in interceptions. That's crazy.
Linebacker.
Draper. It's nice to see our defense actually play their positions and not blitz every down. Yes, absolutely. Crazy what happens when you trust your defensive linemen to do their jobs and let your linebackers pop back into coverage. We saw the last couple of weeks, we saw teams attack where our linebackers should be in coverage, knowing that that zone is probably going to be vacated. This week we did not do that as much. And defensively, Derek Moore had his best game of the season by far. That guy was a beast. If you follow Pro Football Focus's grades, his grade was 92.7. That's in the elite category of performance. That is
like a first-round draft pick right now.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, and that's there every single week. That guy, our edges can generate pressure like crazy. We don't need to dial up blitzes. We don't need to. There still was some head scratchers. I'm thinking of a play in particular where we had Dominic Nichols dropped into coverage, matched up man-to-man on a tight end. That's a mismatch all day long for a tight end to take a linebacker that, an edge that is not even a coverage type guy.
Is never going to see that. Never going to see that. Come on.
Can't get too fancy there.
Yeah, why don't we just stay on the defensive topic real quick before we get to the other topics or the other comments? Just kind of let the fans try this, so we can jump back to offense too, because we still have some comments. But real quick, impressed with our defense. They showed, I know Derek, you kind of alluded this in the beginning of the show, but showed a lot of growth after getting kind of curb stomped by USC. And playing against, like, honestly, opinion, like against a pretty balanced Washington offense, right? I mean, 5-1 coming in to the Big House. They're not bad. They were a solid team. Maybe probably because we didn't show a predictable blitz consistently, kind of what Draper mentioned. But interception by Cole Sullivan, his third on the year, setting up for a Jordan Marshall touchdown. We had then OBJ, so our boy Jimmy Rolder, get his first pick of the season. So congratulations, man. And led the team with 8 tackles last weekend too, and then putting the offense in a great spot. We talked about this off live, Derek and I, but they burned a ton of clock after he intercepted that ball. I think like 4.5 to 5 minutes for a Zack Marshall score. 30 seconds was the interception in the third quarter, leading into the fourth quarter. And then also, like I said, Derek Moore gets the only 2 sacks of the game against Washington, and then gets a forced fumble as well too. So the fact that they showed adversity against USC on the road, came back. First half, not the greatest. Defensively, it was good. Offense, we weren't playing complimentary football, but man, that was probably the second half was probably the best half or just game of the season for me. It was nice to see both sides of the ball clicking and actually playing Michigan football, but there's no give up on this team, right? We could bend over. They talked about the first loss, like, oh, they remember their first loss last year and they got to keep winning. I mean, now you really do. You're in the shit now with two L's, but still, man, proud of this team. They're not giving up. We talked about that last week. It's a tough episode, right? There wasn't a lot to talk about besides the coaching staff, and I go
Yeah.
off. But proud of the staff, proud of the players as well too. They played complimentary football, and I know that word's getting really fucking annoying, but that's what we need right now. That's what this program needs, and that's really what they showed in the second half. And I'm glad they made adjustments on and off the field as well too with the staff and the players. Remember that
Yeah.
defense, man. They looked so good. Loved it.
They played well and had a couple of good things going, but they interestingly didn't have Brandon Hillman or Rod Moore on the back end, and so don't fully know the story behind that. But hey, what they put out
Rod
there,
Moore, I mean, I don't know if he's completely like 100% yet, but that's I'm guessing.
it's
That's my 100% guess too.
yeah.
So
There's yeah. Um, there's probably some substance there. TJ Metcalf played a really good game though. TJ Metcalf led the secondary with snaps, and his grade, his PFF grade was 72.4. So that's a good solid secondary grade.
Yeah, and I want to hear TJ Guy's name a little bit more. I know different positions, obviously, but man, that week one got me excited with that one-handed pick. I just want to hear his name being called more. Not saying he's not doing good things, but we're not seeing the end result, obviously, with other players. So
Yeah, I think part of that is Jayshon Barham's emergence as an edge. Yeah. So I think Jayshon moving to edge from linebacker has impacted just the overall number of snaps that TJ Guy's playing.
Was supposed to be at the beginning of the year, but
yeah, we heard about that.
Second half, I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're actually there was. So if you look at the snaps across the players, so across their interior defensive line, Trey Williams had 25 snaps, Rayshawn Benny had 24, Etta had 22, and Damon Payne had 22. So really, that's decently balanced at the defensive tackle spot. At the edge, Derek Moore 32, Jayshon Barham 31, Cam Brandt 21, TJ Guy 17, Dom Nichols 13, Nate Marshall 4. So there was a lot less, I felt like, subbing for the sake of subbing versus subbing to keep guys to keep your top guys fresh.
Maybe like the fucking second or third play of the game.
Right.
Like for real.
Like, so maybe they did listen to us, bitch.
But it's like, literally, it's like, when are we going to learn our lessons as well, too?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I got something to say about the staff here in a bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll get there. Let's get to a couple more comments. Corey, great football win. Can we talk about Michigan hockey 6-0? Yeah. Purchased my tickets to see them sleep.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that. It's in February. I just can't commit. But number 3 in the country right now. They swept Providence. Man, they're looking good. What stat did I pull up? I saw something. I think before we went live. So Michigan has started 6-0 for the first time since 1979. Um, it's too early in the season to tell, and we made three straight frozen fours like in the past with all that NHL talent and couldn't even get into the championship. Let alone the championship, couldn't even get there. Three straight frozen fours lost in the first round of that. Um, but yeah, they look good this year. They look good against number 7 Providence, not number 7 anymore. But yeah, they're ranked number 3 nationally right now. They look solid. Michigan basketball coming into the season. Number 7 preseason polls. We're just bitching about that at the start of the episode. Um, Lost in the expedition game against Cincinnati at home at the Chrysler. Man, I know it's early. It's just one preseason game for basketball. Are we going to see turnovers again? Are we going to not see a full game again? Um, and man, I don't know. It kind of just looks like a little gist of like what happened last year with the talent that we had. But it's the first preseason game. We'll see. I think we play St. John's this week. I think on the 25th Saturday. I'm not sure, but then we start the season beginning of November with Oakland. So we'll see. And then women's
Yeah.
basketball, I think they were ranked number 13. Not to segue into other sports, but I think we should be pretty. We're kind of selfish as Michigan fans, right? Like we always got good programs. We always got good programs, and that's something to be excited about. But yeah, Corey, you're right. I mean, Michigan hockey. I'd probably sell your tickets because Wisconsin's probably going to get their ass beat. So, word of advice. It's a piece
So
of advice I can give you. Basically.
Corey is a Michigan fan and a closet Wisconsin fan.
He might be closet for both. We don't know which closet he's coming out of yet. Any door can open. We have no idea.
Right.
It's just weird.
Brett, I could be wrong, but I think you used Cole Sullivan as a spy for Aiden Childs for the Michigan game or for the game this weekend. I think we don't need to be aggressive blitzing him. I think you're right. I think if that's the only way that he's dangerous. That's the only thing that can be dangerous about their offense. I think about Michigan State's offense against Michigan is if we overcommit to trying to generate pressure instead of letting our defensive line eat. Because we got another comment coming up here that's going to cater into what I'm going to say. So Draper said Jay Sean moved to inside a little and was effective. And like we said in previous podcasts, he's too quick on the outside and doesn't hold his edge at times. So if we give up some rushing lanes, Aiden Childs is a mobile quarterback. And that is the only way that I can truly see Michigan State's offense being able to move the ball is via broken plays. I think that if we continue to build off of what we did defensively this game in blitzing occasionally, but not overcommitting to the blitz and letting our linebackers drop into space and read the play and react to the play, that's what I think is going to be effective to stopping Michigan State. That and if we get an early lead and get some points on them offensively, we can make them one dimensional. I think our run defense. I think that the USC game was an anomaly. I think that it was completely an anomaly for our rush defense. The number of tackles that we missed, the number of assignments that we blew. I don't think that outside of quarterback scrambles, Michigan State's going to have a whole lot of positivity coming from the rushing game.
Contain them, force them inside. Statistically, Michigan State, I mean, if you look it up within the conference and just all of college football, it's stat-wise, they're pretty bad. They're not very good. They played against weaker teams in the beginning of the season, but they're not like Moose State is not having a good year stat-wise. It's just not solid at all. But as we should all know, it's still a rivalry game. I don't think we crushed them like we did 2 years ago in East Lansing, even though it looks familiar being a night game in that atmosphere. I doubt they show an image of Hitler again this time, Derek.
Yeah,
Or hide their signs in the
kidding.
first half, tried to expose us while getting their asses kicked. I don't think we see those two things this year. But we still claim a victory. I just don't think it'll be a 49-0 score. Um, but they're going to try and expose our secondary. They're going to challenge this group. So Aiden he's probably going to throw pretty quick or any design play, but they also have a decent wide receiver, last name Marsh, coincidence with 5 touchdowns on the year. So Aiden's been sacked about 18 times this season. So compared to our defensive line in the trenches, if we contain him, force him inside, if he's a mobile quarterback, mobile threat, they're going to be pretty screwed early on. And I don't see them, even if they can, even if they want to adjust, I don't see them adjusting in the trenches against our defensive front. So they're going to get the ball out quick to short routes. Um, and we just need another second half like we had against Washington, but we need to put a full game finally together this season as well too. But he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's shit. I'm just saying the company that he has around him as well too. It's just not going to work out for him. And like Derek said, if he's mobile and if he gets lucky a few times, it's the only reason I can see their offense even putting up remotely any points, even 3. I'm not being overconfident, but statistically, Michigan State within the conference and in all of college football is just an absolute disaster. It's not good at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think that defensively,
I just
we
just wait. I
we
gotta
potentially have a
this time.
mismatch.
I'm gonna be Mussolini on the scoreboard. You're right, but it was a part of the access, so unreal. If they do that, I mean, I don't know. I think that's the biggest college football scandal in history, but we'll see. It's the NCAA, so they're shady themselves. That was a good one. Love that.
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah, it was. But but before we fully look ahead at Michigan State, was there some other stuff that
Yeah.
you had that you wanted to talk about with the Washington game that you had highlighted, ready to go?
Yeah. So I'll just start with the positive stuff. So I saw McCauley get a chance to pass too, and that's what I wanted all year. So if everyone remembers, I've said it before. I was pissed off when it happened, but when he played quarterback, but when he was with Indiana at the Big Outs a few years ago, he threw that touchdown pass against us. Against Nebraska, he should have been the one throwing the ball. Samaj should have been in the end zone catching the ball. My opinion. But I saw him get a chance for his 0-1, but I would love to see McCauley get an opportunity to pass the ball again on a trick play. Like he has a fucking arm. He really does. So I'd love to see that later down the road, or even this Saturday night. Um, Andrew March. We didn't really talk about this yet, but dude, what a hell of a catch!
One hander.
We talk about Bryce, and there was a lot of good catches that game. Deacon as well too, but like we talk a lot every week about Bryce, generational talent, generational quarterback in his position, 18 years old, just absolute freak beyond his times. But we've seen another generational talent in Andrew Marsh, and I think we are. What he's done in those few games and what I posted on the appreciation post that I had a couple of days ago, um, he is a generational talent right now. And man, is he fast as well too. But that one-handed grab was absolutely crazy. He's an absolute stud. Just give this kid his master's degree already. Just push him on already. Like he's just an absolute freak. I know it's early yet, but I mean we're seeing glimpses of Bryce every week, and now we're seeing Andrew Marsh, and we probably have a generational talent at the wide receiver position in Andrew. So I'm really excited for him. Proud of him. He's got his whole career ahead of him as well too. and his career in collegiate football. I mean, it's going to be absolutely amazing if he stays on this path. So, um, we're going to see a lot more appreciation posts from us as well too with other players. He's the first one, but he just had an incredible game, and ever since like what he's done so far, like even outside of starting, the numbers he's putting up is incredible. I know we talked about Jordan Marshall for a little bit, real quick. He had a great game. He's looking Hussein Haskins like, which we saw that in Alabama, in that bowl
Mm-hmm.
game. Hard runner,
Mm-hmm.
downfield runner, but man, that guy can break tackles. He's shifty as fuck too. So I think we really do have the best running back duo in the country. Not saying that as a Michigan fan, we're always biased, but we really do. It's solid. But one thing that kind of drove me nuts real quick, and then we got to move on to Michigan State here. But Derek, I know you and I kind of talked about this, but uh, man, not challenged in spot on the ball during the game, early start of the game. I don't get it. Jim would have just absolutely flipped shit, and Coach Moore is not like Jim. I want Coach Moore to be like Coach Moore, but man, you got to give me some energy. You gotta do something. I don't understand that, and like the fourth downs that we've went for, I feel like it's fan driven. I feel like it's Bryce Underwood driven. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Dominate the game, and we saw that in the second half. But I did not see this in the first half. Have we learned anything from our two losses? And that's kind of like my biggest concern right now with this coaching staff. So, to be honest, as a coach in college football, head coach, offensive coordinator, DC, all the above, whatever you want to call it, you're not going to keep your job long. With the money floating around now, and people and boosters and people donating, they're not going to allow you to keep your job anymore. You're going to see a lot of turnover in college football. You're not going to be getting second or third chances anymore with the money floating around. So I really hope they learned from the second half last weekend. Um, I mean, not going for it sometimes and being aggressive, and I'm not asking for Campbell here, right? It's a little too much for me, but it just seems a little too conservative and complacent from me from the head coach and the DC sometimes. And you know, it's not the losses that we took this year and last year. It's how we've lost with leadership, right? That's my biggest concern. So even some games last year, like I said, some coaches look like they need an energy boost, a change, make an adjustment, establish more trust and creativity. You're you're going to continue to lose games. I get that, and you're going to lose in life, people. You're going to lose in life, and that's fine. Those are opportunities to learn and grow. We've added a new offensive coordinator, a new generational quarterback, but it looks the same as last year, and especially the first half against Washington. Even though we've tried some creative plays, I like the 4th and 1. Samaj didn't catch it, but I still like the play call. It just seems that even though we took a loss, it's it's almost like some things haven't changed with this staff. And I don't know if it's stubbornness. I don't know if it's overconfidence or overconfident. I don't know if it's less tenured and learning. I'm not sure, but that first half still has me kind of concerned. Like, you seriously didn't take anything away from the USC game, and that's what I felt like in the first half. Like some other play calls, seeing a little creativity, right? Getting a little excited, but man, some predictability. And man, I I just I don't know what it is with Wink and Moore. I just don't think they can adjust. I don't know what it is specifically, but that first half still has me really worried about going forward the rest of the season. Call the game like you called the second half against Washington, and guess what? Things might not work out in your favor, but it's a learning experience. Take some fucking risks. So that's my opinion on the staff. I know they're working their asses off. I know they're working hard, but there's some head scratchers still in the first half of that game. We call it a good game, right? It was a good game in the second half. First half, I don't give a shit what the score was. It was just the same complacent bullshit, and it looks like we've learned nothing from the USC game or the Oklahoma game. It's like someone else took over Derek at halftime. That's what it felt like. Give me something. I'm not seeing it. I don't know what it is. It just has me a little bit worried for the rest of the season that we're gonna go back to what we were doing, but we can't. You got to strategize for that specific opponent. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
so to add to that, it's almost like there continues to be a mentality of we just want to do what we want to do. We don't want to coach against the tendencies of the opponent. And
21, 22, and 23. I think that's what Coach Moore is living in. He needs to
yeah,
get in 25, 2025. That's all I'm
and
throwing out.
even then though, we were coaching to we were taking our identity and applying it to our opponents.
Yeah.
There were our identity was smash, right? It was smash. It was run the football. It was
Yep.
dominate. It was control the clock. But there were games that we still came out throwing the ball right away with JJ and opening up the run game. So I think that that's where that comes in is just gotta lose the arrogance of we can just do whatever we want against any team and take your identity, take what you feel is your team's identity, mold that game plan around what your opponent's going to be doing. Right? That's what USC did to us. USC, how many times did USC challenge our secondary to make plays in the open field? Very Kyle Shanahan esque. That's what Kyle
They
Shanahan
just,
had done in the NFL is
yeah.
um, put defensive backs in position to have to try this. This was a couple of years ago, but put defensive backs in positions where they would have to try and tackle Debo or CMC or George Kittle in the open field. That's what USC did to us, and also they just continuously replaced our blitzing linebackers with somebody over the middle that was wide open. Right? They played completely against our tendencies, and
They just
we
wanted it
didn't
more too.
adjust.
Like we weren't matching that energy.
Yeah,
Screw
and
the
I mean
we
that was
had
a
to
big thing.
fly to USC crap. I'm not into that excuse. I'm not into that. Washington came in and played a decent first half of football.
Yeah, but I
So
mean they
I'm
moved the
not into
ball a little
that
bit on
crap.
us. Washington
They
moved the
did.
ball a little bit on us early in the game, and then late in the game, in the second half, I mean we completely shut them down.
It was like Wisconsin, but can we play
Can we
complimentary
do that
football
from
and
the
get in the
beginning?
second half for all four quarters though? And that's what I want to see. Like I'm not looking for perfection. I don't want everyone to think like we're, especially me, sounding like an arrogant Michigan fan that I'm not happy that we won or I'm not satisfied. I'm a fucking realist. Okay. Um, and with understanding this game, there is still some concerns. There is still some concerns, and we have to address those. And we still have to, as humans, we still have to ask those questions. So we'll see. Going forward, the rest of the season, it'll be interesting. I look forward to talking about it. Can't wait.
Yeah, and I mean looking ahead now is the time to figure it out, right? Because we've got just looking at our schedule leading up to Ohio State, we've got Michigan State, Purdue, Northwestern, and Maryland, and then we end the season with Ohio State. So I mean we if we are not 9-2 going into the Ohio State game and on the doorstep of the college football playoff, then
It
we botched something because we
it was
absolutely
just
with the
like
schedule that
last
we
year.
have we should.
Should have beat Illinois last year. Should have beat Washington last year. Should have beat Indiana last year. It's just what has changed. Like I said last week, and I'm not blaming Moore, but like to a point, it's just I'm raising questions here. We brought in an OC. I don't know we'll never know the full story behind that of really who's calling the shots there, but and we brought in a generational talent in Bryce Underwood in the QB position. And in some of these games, with the same head coach and with those two changes, it almost looks like the same offense. And I think that's I think it's arrogance. I think it's
Yeah,
I'm a head coach now and I'm living in 21, 22, and 23. And I don't have a strategy. Like we rip on Ryan Day for not being a strategist, which he's not. He's born on third base, but um, I have concerns about Moore, like not taking away anything from the USC game or even Oklahoma, sitting and watching the games while he was suspended for those two contests, and then making changes and then not putting a full game together. So I didn't like the first half of Washington, and I'm not asking for a blowout here. Like we're not going to just go in and kick their ass. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm a realist. When it comes to any sport, especially football, and there's certain things I'm seeing that I'm not liking, and that it's a head scratcher. I don't understand what you're doing, basically.
Yeah, for sure. All right, a couple comments that came in here, Draper, when you were talking about offense. Just throw the ball to McCulley and Marsh, only two taking this thing serious. I'm asking Marsh is really after that 1,000 yards. I think Andrew Marsh will have a 1,000-yard season at Michigan. He doesn't quite have the same size, but he is giving me vibes like a Braylon Edwards or a Nico Collins type player. The way that he can get open, the way that he can catch the football, the way that he can make plays after he catches the football.
Yes, extends the play after the catch. Like I think his mom said he told his mom Eleanor when we were interviewing her. I think he was looking for 1,100 this year, but the guy's extremely confident. And then I think he was looking for 8 touchdowns. Could be 15. I can't remember, but guy's an absolute stud. And like Derek was saying too, when he catches the ball, he just runs it down the field. I think
Yeah.
what was last weekend? I think it was like 9 point something, 9.8 or whatever after the catch. Can't remember what it was. And then McCulley just being a big body as well too. I mean, we've seen him against Wisconsin. I know it's Wisconsin. We played a JV team. I get it, whatever. But like breaking tackles, guy's a big body. Like throw it up to him and let him make a play. Dude had some studs at receiver for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think we've tapped McCulley's potential yet. I think McCulley still has, especially in the red zone, right? Like we gotta dial some stuff up in the red zone. That just takes advantage of his size at the receiver position, because you can't tell me that we cannot create a mismatch, that we cannot get take advantage of some coverages that other teams are throwing at us,
Yeah.
and get him matched up on someone that he's got a good 6-7 inches on. Absolutely, we just got to get creative with it.
We create our own mismatches from Wink on defense, so I don't see why other teams wouldn't do it. So
Yeah, but to add to this, I think that in the tight end room we've got some receiving threats. We actually, besides those two, Samaj Morgan was the only. He had 31 snaps, and Channing Goodwin had 20 snaps. So I'm gonna say this: Samaj Morgan is going to have a big game this year. It might be this week. He is this close on a couple plays, and I know he's got, I think, 6 drops on the season.
yeah,
But he is this close, and he can be electric when he gets the ball in his hands. He's just gotta get the ball in his hand. When the ball hits his hands, he's just gotta keep it there.
I think
But
he's thinking touchdown every single time before he catches that ball. And I think it's just once he breaks that mental barrier, and Derek's right, it could be this Saturday night. He's gonna have a massive game, and I think a good rest of the season. Like he's there. Like I don't know if I trust him as a punt return as much as I should, but the kid's extremely athletic as well too. But as fans, we just kind of gotta help him out a little bit and kind of push the positivity for him. But he's getting close.
yeah, because I truly feel like coming into the season, I felt like he could be like a Rondale Moore type receiver in Michigan's offense, the way that Rondale Moore was in Purdue's offense when he was at Purdue. Similar size, similar speed, similar type of a twitch, and I still think he can be.
Still a gadget receiver, I think, between Marsh and McCulley. But yeah, he's still gonna have a
Yep.
good game. We're just waiting
Yep.
for him to break it out and then break for a touchdown as well too. Like you said, when he catches the ball, it's extremely fast. He's getting
Yep.
calls.
Yeah, and he's had a couple big plays this year where where he's I can't remember who it was again, Nebraska, I think. He had that key third down conversion where he realistically should have been tackled like 6 yards short, and he just would not go down. Yeah. So, keep getting the ball in his hands. Another comment here from Draper. I agree with Jason. The fourth downs we went for felt like we, the fans and team, had to convince the coach to go for it, and that's just got to be an identity thing. So here's a thing to remember.
Situational as well too.
Well, situational football, but we got spoiled, and I talk about Jim Harbaugh all the time. He's my favorite, but we got spoiled with Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has coached football for a very, very long time, and he's been a head coach. When you're a head coach, you are the CEO of everything that's taking place on the team, and that's a big difference from being a positional coach or a coordinator. And so Sherrone Moore is only in his second full season as a head coach, and a big piece of what a head coach has to do is know how to manage those types of situations. Know the types of situations that are going to come up that are just going to be an automatic go for it here. It seems like, and I might be wrong on this with this assessment, but it seems like he's almost waiting for somebody to tell him what the analytics say to do, instead of just having an instinct on what we should do. And the difference in that is that I feel like the players on the field have a mentality when you just keep putting big situations on their back, versus if you hesitate to put that big situation on their back. And so, we've got to have the identity of, if we're in a certain range, fuck analytics. Who cares what analytics say to do or not to do? Go and win one. Go and win one play, and challenge your guys to go and win one play.
Yes.
And I know. So we talked about the fourth down. That was the drop. That was a really good play call. And in hindsight, we look at the other fourth down inside the. We're at like the 5 yard line or the 6 yard line or something. Yeah. And we ran the ball. I actually don't mind that. In hindsight, you can look at it and say, do something.
Do more. That all day. I agree.
Right. Just trust them to go get 2 yards. Trust them to go and just win that play and get 2 yards, and they didn't, and that's okay. But like the people that second guess that play call, right? Because there's a lot of people that do, and people are right. If you run a play action bootleg on that play, that might be wide open, right? But that's easy to say in hindsight. The same people that say that are the same people that would say, if we did run a play action bootleg and the defensive end snuffed it out, those would be the same people that would say, don't get too cute, just run the ball.
Those are the people that bitched about a pick six in that situation. Like, well,
yeah.
No shit. Like, we saw it too, Captain Hindsight. I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Fans, we get that reaction, but just think before you post or act. One of the two. Just don't think at all. Just watch the game. See what it
Look, looking ahead though now. So yeah. Michigan State at Michigan State, night game.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about some of the big matchups defensively against Aiden Childs, and not letting him use his legs is a big factor of the game. Sherrone Moore touched on it in his press conference. I think that a big factor in this game is keeping a cool head. I think that this game is and has gotten chippier and chippier over the years. And so as this game's gotten chippier and chippier, I think that a big thing is having swagger and having confidence. But we are ranked in dead last in all of college football for opponents' penalties against us. And so we are not going to get a call. We will get a call on us for retaliating. I think that we've got to win between the whistles. We've got to be violent between the whistles, and we got to keep cool heads in situations. And I'm thinking of one player in particular, Brandon Hillman. Got to keep it between the whistles.
Honestly, don't care. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I know people are gonna be mad at my comment. I don't care. I love what he did against Nebraska. Like the guy's just Michigan and fuck everyone else. And he's like Brian Dawkins. He's like Weapon X. Like he is a football player and he wants to win. But my God, when someone's smiling before a massive hit that he's about to create on someone, he's wired right for football. So let me tell you that. And if no one's ever seen Brian Dawkins before the game, I think he's a little weird. He talked to himself and shit. But like, he kind of really reminds me. Hillman reminds me of Weapon X, for sure. But like, I get it. Like, I know we got to play football. I know we got to be cool. But I almost want to see like 23 versus Michigan State right there. So we saw Braden McGregor get his freaking head smashed into the ground. But Michigan State's athletic director is worried about their players getting injured from sign stealing.
Yeah.
Talk about another person that wants to keep their job without losing it. Like, shut the fuck, dude. You're an idiot. I don't even know how the hell you're even in that position. You're a dumbass. Like, you have your player, you're worried about sign stealing, and you have your player getting his fucking head smashed in by one of your Michigan State players. So that was McGregor. McGregor got, like, he didn't even do anything, right? So, like, I think a lot of Michigan State fans are living in a fantasy world with the tunnel incident as well, too. But, like, you're right. We gotta keep it clean. We gotta play in between the whistles and let Michigan State, and I think what Derek is trying to say, too, is let Michigan State be their own demise. We saw that in 23 with them being a little bit too chippy and aggressive and being a little too overconfident as well, too. And we need to let that program be their own demise in this game. Like I said, I don't think we're going to win like 49-0, but I think we're going to have a victory for sure. I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I agree. Offensively, I think that we've got to play. We've got to have a good game plan. I think that if we just straight up go in and just play our talent versus their talent, we kick the shit out of them all day long. But we've got to be able to bring in, like you're talking about, don't just go and do something because we feel like we can. Go in and play against their tendencies. Go, I want to see Bryce have a fucking field day. I want to see Bryce break 300 yards.
See a JJ McCarthy field day and just throw your brains out and just have like five touchdown game.
Yeah, because it's been so fucking.
Team, but like, I don't want him to be fancy either. But I don't know. I think this is a perfect game to have McCulley throw the ball again. Not a trick.
Oh yeah.
I want McCulley to throw the ball one more time.
But it's been so fucking annoying every week seeing Michigan State fans and Ohio State fans say, "Oh, this is the guy that you paid all that money to make him give his $12 million back and stuff."
And so and your coach jacking off on a phone call. Okay, like you got your own issues. Why don't you show Hitler again on your scoreboard, you freaks?
But I just want him to go and I want him to just go light Michigan State up. That's what I want to see. Is I want to see a good game plan, but I want to see us just do anything we want all game long.
You want to see all 4 quarters complimentary football on the road against maybe a weaker opponent stat wise, but let's put a full game together.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yep, for sure. For sure. Anything that you have highlighted as like key matchups or anything to look for with that game before we make predictions?
I mean, not really. It's just like I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna throw on quick routes, and they're gonna try to burn our secondary because if they don't, he's gonna get sacked for the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd time. They have no choice. That is gonna be their game plan. They're going to try to run the ball, obviously, to try to open up those routes. But I think our defensive line plays like a full game, almost what they did last weekend. I think we'll be fine. Other than that, still a talented quarterback at Michigan State, at Moose State. Aiden's still going to throw the ball to quick routes. They're going to challenge our secondary. They're going to try to run the ball to open up that. Our corners have to play a good game, regardless. We and for the love of God, we cannot give this team. We got to get off the field on defense. Like Wink, if you haven't changed it already, you need to change soon. You don't show anything. There's no creativity. Get off the damn field, especially on 3rd and long. We cannot give them any gifts. It's football. That shit happens. But when it's consistently, it just makes me wonder what the hell you're thinking. Get off the field, put the offense in the position to win the game, and create turnovers again like we did against Washington as well too. That's my big takeaway. It's just the secondary's got to play good, and they got to play tight, and they got to be aware. So that's what they're going to be doing.
For sure. A couple comments have come in. Brett, I want to see someone get hit into the water cooler. The backups should be in the game by the start of the 3rd quarter. I hope so. I don't know that they'll be in that early. Let's not forget that this is Michigan State's going to come ready to play this game more than they come ready to play any game this season. So they're gonna come out ready to play. We just got to take it away from them.
And again, we do have the youngest team in the Big Ten with an average age of it was 20.54. So a lot of youth. I think even me, I forget that. I hate losing in foosball. I get pissed off about that, or even tic-tac-toe. Don't beat me in that. But we still got to remember this is youth. It's a rivalry game. I don't think it's going to be as close as what people think, but it's not going to be 49-0. I think we're going to be learning a lot yet, and this is still a learning experience for the coaching staff as well too. So we'll see.
So what do you think? What's your score prediction?
You go first. I don't know yet.
37-10. 37-10.
37-10. Holy shit. I think it's gonna be 35 to. I think it's gonna be 35 to 10.
35-10.
You get the safety in there. I'm just looking at the numbers. I really should take into account it's a rivalry game, so anything could happen. But man, stat-wise, Michigan State is just not a very good football team.
Yeah.
Not a good football team. I know at the beginning of the season I was seeing a lot of 100-0s, and you know what? I hope I'm wrong. I hope it is 100-0. I hope we kill them. Hey, let's save the couches too. No couch burning. Let's save a couch.
Yeah.
So,
I would love to see an empty stadium in the end of the 3rd quarter. But
or just an absolute Michigan takeover like it was
2 years ago. I think we run away with it in the end, but I think that through the first quarter and a half that we're frustrated that we're not winning by more than we should be. Then in the second half, I think we come out and dominate.
Let's wait to make more adjustments. Love it.
For sure. Well, before we finish up here, one reminder, like we do every week. So we will continue to support Cora's crew and continue to do our part in raising money for the Fuller family. So if this is your first time tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you go back, we had probably the most important episode we've ever done, where we brought Katie Fuller on to tell the story of Cora Fuller, who's a 6-year-old currently battling childhood leukemia. We are doing everything we can to help raise money for the Fuller family and to continue to bring awareness to the cause, including continuing to sell these Cora Crew t-shirts. So if you go to thevictorsnation.com/shop, you will see VN merchandise, but the first thing you're going to see is our Cora Crew merchandise. All proceeds from any Cora's Crew merchandise is going to be donated 100% to the Fuller family. So it keeps the cause out there. If anybody out there would like to just reach out to us and ask how to support Katie Fuller and the Fuller family directly, reach out to us. We will get you her Venmo account that you can donate directly to her. But we will continue to promote and try and raise money for the Fuller family and Cora's crew.
Absolutely.
And on that note, thank you for everyone that tuned in. Whether it was your first time tuning in or you are one of our regulars, be sure, whether it's on, just do it on all of these. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, leave comments, recommend other Michigan fans to our podcast. We are a podcast that is by fans for fans. So if you're tuning in for the first time, you saw some interaction. That's the way we want our podcast to be, is come in, drop your comments, chat with us, overreact with us, underreact with us, get back to reality with us, whatever it takes.
Yes.
Occasionally, we even have opposing fans hop in here and banter with us a little bit. So we appreciate that too. So if you have any friends that are opposing fans, tell them to give us a follow and hop in on upcoming game weeks.
Yeah.
But on that note, I'll quote Dre in his absence: love one another, respect one another, and always go blue.